Hi, my name is Kaylee Williams, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my lesson plan on kindergarten print concepts. The Tennessee State standard for print concepts for kindergarten is KFLPC1. It states demonstrate understanding of the organization and basic features of print. The following subparts of this standard state A. Follow words from left to right, top to bottom, and page by page. B. Recognize that spoken words are represented in written language by specific sequences of letters. C. Understand that words are separated by spaces in print. Demonstrate one-to-one correspondence between voice and print. D. Recognize and name all upper and lowercase letters of the alphabet in isolation and in connected text. And E. Distinguish between pictures and words. The I can statements that I formed for my lesson plan were I can follow words from left to right and read from top to bottom. I will distinguish between pictures and words. And I can recognize the words we say and hear can also be written. The following are the lesson objectives. The learner will recognize words I hear and say can be written. The learner will memorize as much of their alphabet as they can remember. The learner will discuss how letters make words. The learner will follow words of a story on the board from left to right, top to bottom, and page by page to prepare them for their hands-on assessment. The learner will analyze a picture and then write its word that describes it. Assessment and evaluation. A few of the informal formative assessments are the partner reading, pointing to the board when the teacher asks, and singing the alphabet. A formal formative assessment was writing uppercase and lowercase alphabet and completing the writing worksheet. And the summative assessment is reading aloud with the teacher one-on-one and printing the alphabet test. For the key language activity for this lesson, vocabulary will be involved. Vocabulary will be taught about print concepts in kindergarten. First, the teacher will create a word wall. The teacher and the students will add new vocabulary terms to the word wall each lesson. But for this lesson, the teacher will add the following terms to the word wall: uppercase, lowercase, left, right, top, and bottom. Then the teacher will ask the students to define these words in their own terms and then share with a partner. After they share with the partner, they will share with the class what each of them believes the words mean. Supports. The general supports for this lesson are the word wall. The targeted supports include language function. The teacher will read a passage on the board aloud while using a pointer from left to right to explain the proper direction of reading. For the discourse, the teacher will write sentence examples on the board demonstrating the proper use of an uppercase letter at the beginning and a period at the end. For vocabulary, the teacher will encourage students to refer to the word wall and sentence examples to complete their work. And last but not least, individual supports include partnered work with one or two higher achieving students and other options such as preferential seating. For the opening of this lesson, they will begin with a warm-up. The teacher will begin class by having a warm-up sheet on each student's desk. The students will complete this warm-up to the best of their ability. The hook. The teacher will introduce the lesson with vocabulary for the standard by teaching or reteaching students their left and right, what an alphabet is, and show students what an uppercase and lowercase letter looks like. The teacher will have students hold up their left and right hands as an example. For the topic, the teacher will demonstrate and retell how to read in the proper direction the alphabet and how a proper sentence looks. For I can statements, the teacher will read the I can statements from the board to the class. The student will repeat each I can statement after the teacher finishes. For standards, objectives, and agenda, the teacher will explain the agenda to the class in order from let's get started, now let's do it together, and finally try it on your own. And then the teacher will release the students after she begins the lesson. he or she. For instructional procedures, they will go as follows. Number 1, creating the word wall. Why are these terms important for our lesson? Number 2, the teacher will read a passage on the board aloud while using a pointer from left to right to show the proper direction of reading. The learner will observe the teacher pointing at the book on the board, directing the learner's eyes from left to right and then top to bottom. Number 3, partner read time. The learner will read a book aloud with a partner. The teacher will walk around the room observing if the students are doing this correctly and making corrections in the same process. Number 4, student demonstration. The teacher will write sentence examples on the board demonstrating the proper use of an uppercase letter at the beginning and a period at the end. The learner will show the teacher where the spaces are in a pre-written sentence on the board. Number 5, the learner will complete a worksheet involving writing a short sentence for the teacher to discover whether the student put spaces where they should be, capitalize the right letters, and use punctuation. The learner will raise their hand when they have finished. The learner will print all of their alphabet on a sheet of paper in order with both capital and lowercase letters. The teacher will walk around the room, checking student sentences as they complete them. The teacher will take up the students' papers and grade them for feedback. And number 6, for the assessment, the teacher will ask the student to point to where they are supposed to begin reading and show what direction they will read. The teacher will also note how the student does. The learner will point to where they are supposed to begin reading and show the teacher what direction they will read. For closing, the teacher will review by asking the students, can anyone tell me about the alphabet that we learned today? And can anyone recite their entire alphabet? The teacher will review what was learned and express gratitude to the students for doing their best. The real-world connection for this lesson is going to be shown to the students by having the students do a turn and talk to brainstorm why it is important to know what direction to read in and why it is important to know your alphabet. The exit ticket that the students will have for this lesson is they will raise their hand and share something about today that was hard or easy. The student will share what they believed helped them and what was difficult for them during this lesson. And this provides an opportunity for the teacher to reiterate or re-explain portions of the lesson. And finally, there will be cleanup. The teacher will have students tidy up their area and pack up for the end of the day. The higher order thinking questions involved in this lesson are a few examples that I've listed. How would you show your friend which direction he or she is supposed to read? This is on the understanding level of Bloom's. Why do you think we read from top to bottom? This would be analyze. What would happen if we did not have words to describe our pictures or the things we see? Evaluate. And can you write your alphabet? Demonstrate. Higher order thinking questions are extremely important for each lesson that you will have in the future, and it is very important to introduce these questions to the students in the beginning and the end of the lesson. For classroom management, the teacher will write an agenda on the board for the students to follow along with her as the lesson progresses. For management within the classroom during this lesson, the teacher will use response strategies such as saying class, class, and the students will respond with yes, yes. This will regain attention and direct the students to the next task. There will also be a bathroom break during the middle of the lesson to use as a reboot method. At the beginning of class, the teacher will explain that she will be using Class Dojo today so that the students should be on their best behavior and participate. At the end of class, the teacher will go on Class Dojo to evaluate the behavior of the students. This should persuade students to be on their best behavior and be engaged in the tasks at hand and do their best abilities to learn. The materials and technology used within this lesson are loose leaf paper, pencils, dry erase markers, a pointer, YouTube, a checklist, and worksheets. The loose leaf paper is for the students to write on. Of course, the pencils are meant for that. Dry erase markers and the pointer and the checklist are for the teacher herself. Worksheets will be for the students, and YouTube is how the teacher will reveal the alphabet song to the students. The technology that the teacher will use is a computer and a smart board or a projector, whatever is provided. This will improve learning because it will provide the ability to share the videos with the class like the alphabet song. The computer also assists some teachers with grading depending on their school system. This video will support students' needs because it will engage those who do not respond as well to the teacher because they will see that the class enjoys the video, and a lot of times hearing a song makes students more engaged and more excited to learn. The teacher will use this idea for the formative assessment of learning the alphabet. It will allow the teacher to observe the students as they learn so that he or she can see who is learning or memorizing quicker or easier. Theory and rationale. For the last bit of this lesson, it is important for the teaching and modeling part of this because the teacher should model what should be done and what students should learn or take from the lesson. Students learn much better when the teacher can properly and confidently model the information for them. Teachers model in hopes of it resulting in imitation. In this lesson, the teacher first models a directional approach of reading, then has the students partner up before a final summative assessment. The word wall or anchor chart is Vygotsky's in-depth research. It has taught us that students need a visual aid to reference. The word wall is a perfect visual aid because students can look back at it and it will remind them of what they have learned and what will help them in the future. When the learners become aware of any new word they can read or write, it is added to the word wall. The word wall will be displayed at the back of the classroom, visible for every student to see when needed. Partner work or turn and talk. Vygotsky also promotes socialization within the classroom. Socialization helps students better understand multiple different ways to interpret the educational material. This ultimately means that it is important to provide opportunities to do so. In this lesson, students are assigned to read with a partner, where they can assist each other with the assignment. And last but not least, the real world connection. Piaget is who helped us understand that we learn new information from the things we already know from our own personal experiences. Because of this, I will be sure to express how important it is to be able to read in life. We read everything we see for directions, to find out where to eat, and etc. This will ultimately assist students with personal, cultural, and especially community assets. Thank you for listening, and that was my lesson on kindergarten print concepts.